Alright, here we are in Eastern Reaches. One thing I didn't really show about these cavern-like missions, it kind of looks like you're coming down into a cavern. If you walk out of this, it just ends the level. Like, you get 0% and everything, but you would end the level. I'm going to go ahead and move on forward. But yeah, you can come and go from these levels as you please. So, that's actually something that some of the levels will require. You'll have to come back. I think actually for this level, you'll have to come back for something. Let's preserve those and heal up here. Okay. I'm not going to bother to use that save. It's good to save a couple of these in case you need them later. And we just had the one off of Western Reaches. So another stone throwing goblin there. Is there any money? I guess not. Okay, here it comes. Really don't like to let them get off edges. Okay. Is there another? So if you played through, just you missed the hidden areas, you didn't go under the water, you'd probably end up here, right after Central Caverns. But, we went ahead and did the Eastern Reaches first, and this will be the last. I think that's all we can do there. This will be the last of the cave missions, at least of the standard cave missions. Don't think so. Okay. So it looks like there's not really much up. Crystal's sitting there. So again, I'm saving that save for now. There should be another one pretty soon. Don't think there's anything below here. Just checking. Alright, let's really quickly check up this other ledge. But there's another spider somewhere around here. Oh, bats. Okay. They're stubborn sometimes. Okay. Nothing to do up there. Okay, let's see about here. As you can tell, I don't worry too much about taking some damage or using magic, especially when there's a Zeridian Brine Pool nearby. It's not anything to worry about. Okay, I will use this save. So this is going to be 4 now. Okay. Yeah, some of the missions do make it tricky, actually, by using few saves, like in the Labyrinth and some later ones. You have to be pretty cautious how you use them. Alright, let's go with this guy. I guess we'll have to come back to him. Back to this one. Up there. So if we want 100% enemy, we should kill this guy. So I'm going to have to stab him, I'm afraid. Because magic spells don't work underwater. So it does get a little bit tricky when you're trying to kill things underwater, and we'll see that in some of the forest missions. Ah, that's clever. Okay, I think I'm going to have to just take a hit on this guy. But I don't think that we can break through any of these walls. If I'm not mistaken. This is one of the levels I don't remember as well, but as I recall, we've used this catapult to access that area. Okay, so there's that water. Yeah, we can get up there. I think we can also... yeah. So if I step on that, that's just going to throw this rock on there. But I can also ride it to get up here. So let's go up here. Use some Zycrons to get up here. Actually, a good number of them are up here. I don't remember how to access that door. It might come in later. There is a part of this level I think you have to come back for too, when you have fire seeds. So we will find out where that is. We do what we can. Now this is some of that tough stone. It takes a lot of work to break. Ah, so you just heard that sound. You notice my red Zycron down there has an X2. So that means I picked up 100 of the gold Zycrons. So I now have 200 of them. Because they converted it, the gold one's converted into a red one. And I picked up a red one earlier. Alright. Now this teleporter, we'll see in a moment. It connects to another region we're going to go. Alright, so actually we have to get into the room underneath this catapult. But I don't think we can shoot through that wall. I think we have to get the catapult down here. So this is an interesting way to go about it, really, is to knock out the floor from underneath the catapult. Yeah, see, it so starts to fall. But there's a lot of really interesting things that Ferazel's wand does. I think they're pretty unique. This type of element where I can knock out the floor and use that to move objects. So that should have... yeah, there we go. Oh, there's one down here too. Yeah, so we should be blasting through that wall slowly. Well, you really have to work for that part if you want it. Here we go. Okay, so this, just like that blue orb gave us more magic power, this will give us more health. It regenerates us and gives us more health, which is always useful. Good, good, okay. I think this is a good time to use that save. Let's get our second one. Alright, so now there's this water. Let's go ahead and... you have to be careful here because the current tries to push you out of that ditch. And you always have to be careful with spin jumping underwater, because if there's no bottom, Ferazel will fall and die. Okay, so this takes us to that teleporter we saw earlier, that was just kind of up there. Is that all this does? I feel like there should be another teleporter in this circuit. Maybe I have to go to another teleporter. Okay, but anyways, yeah, this is where we were. This time, let's use this droplet of water. So just like the acid droplet turned us green and let us go across the acid, this lets us walk across the water. We can't get very far, right, because of that. Actually, I bet I could duck down and ride. Oh, I can't. Okay, but it does allow us to jump up here and reach this secret area, which is pretty much just more Zycrons and a save point. nothing more. Nothing on the outside there. Alright. Okay, so in Western Reaches I talked about how there's a character that tells you about the Western Reaches if you missed it in the Eastern Reaches. So if you play through, you end up in Eastern Reaches, and you didn't find the Western Reaches entrance, you come across this character and you start to think, maybe I missed something. Let's see. Cloaked Habnabbit says, rumor reaches me that a scroll was lost somewhere west of the central caverns. It is said to be inscribed with the statue spell. The statue spell? So I'm told. Be careful. There are strange creatures about. The statue spell is the very least one should be equipped with for safe passage through these caverns. Yeah, so that's kind of your hint that, I don't think there's anything down there, that there are some Western caverns out there that have a spell. You can upgrade your spells. I'm not a big fan. The statue spell does damage and it's useful for freezing enemies, but I much prefer the boomerang spell, which we'll come across in a later mission. Alright, so let's go through this door really fast. Oh, we activated that over there. I'm pretty sure there's nothing else to this area. So that's all there is there. Okay, now this bridge is going to fall apart from underneath us. It's like what we saw in the very first level, but here there's nothing under it, so you actually have to be careful. I like to kind of jump across them a little bit, because I, just to give myself options, make sure I'm able to go back if I need to, at least once. Alright, so let's... Now we're going to have to fight them. These frogs are so annoying because they take a lot of hits and they're always jumping. There we go. That's a smite ring. Pretty useful later in the game. Basically they hurt everything on the screen. Pretty much kill everything on the screen, for that matter. So I think the only thing we need to cross here was the Zycrons that you can fall in through. So let's just do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I think. Because I'm pretty sure we can climb up here. Nope, I'll still need to get across there. Okay. That's why it's a good idea to leave some of the places you can jump on, because you never know when you might need them. Okay, so I cleared that area, but this one we need. And again, more frogs. Here we go. He's kind of locked into a mode of shooting at me, but not jumping. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, so you can get to it from this side too. If you happened... Oh, that's the bat we activated earlier with that secret passage. If you happened earlier to knock out all the bridge, you could still get to this part. Boy, he's fast when he wants to be. Okay. Trying not to get hit by him, but sometimes these bats are tricky. Some of them fly in the same region, and some of them chase after you. It just depends on the bat. Oh, that's clever. Okay, so let's go back and take it from where we were. I have a feeling we're going to end up back in the same point, but I like to explore the whole map. So we knew where those led. Those led up to these areas, and we have been here. Okay, we talked to him. So we didn't go down there yet. Yeah, more. So here's some slime. These are really annoying. Yeah, so this is just another area with icons. I don't think it connects to the other at all. Let's get this bat. Ugh. So many people to kill. Yeah. I want some health. Alright, let's get this guy. Save. Oops, that's not so great. I'm gonna have to get some health before I go too far. Let's see, was there some up there? I'm not sure. There we go, that helped. And is there anything else up here that I need to get to? Oh yeah. More stuff. Good, good. I guess we're just gonna have to jump up here and attack him that way. Okay, well, at least we got him. Okay, we got the silver key. Nope, I don't think there's anything there. Okay. We should still have the other knife thrower, yeah. Since we did not get him. Now we got him. Okay, and here's this bat. Alright, so let's save again. I think there's something down here. There's a ledge, yeah. So you can kind of climb back up that way. But I think this also uses that teleporter from earlier. Yeah, so that took us back to that teleporter from earlier. Have we gotten into that room yet? We'll have to make sure we get into that room too. I don't see anything here that we're missing directly. Now this part is one of the first kind of tricky ones where there's nothing beneath you, so if you fall, I mean, you will die. I don't know if there's anything down here. Ah, there is. Okay. Anything inside there? I don't think so. Yeah, so there's another door here. Here we go. That's the room I was wanting to get into earlier. Okay, so we should have explored all the rooms that we can easily get to now. I bet this will take us back to the same teleporter again. They all take us back there. Okay. So there were doorways on either side down there, but there are not spikes at the bottom. There's nothing down there. So if you fall, you die and you have to go back to your save. Which does happen, especially I think the ice levels have some of the hardest jumps to make. So we should have the silver key, so we do, but I think like if we go into this room, nothing is activated yet. I think we can activate with that button, but first I want to get to that treasure chest over there. This may be a bad idea, but I like to explore the whole level. Okay. Let's see if I can... There we go. Okay. So we explored pretty much everything. I feel like there was still a door that we'll have to come back to with fire seeds that was in an earlier room. But we can come back to that when we get those. There we go. Okay, so that button enabled these platforms. They're no longer transparent. And you can begin to see the capabilities of this engine, right? I haven't even talked about like the background parallax scrolling, how it slides with you. We'll see that in another layer level in particular. But all the stuff, like in this level we move the catapult to use it to get into the heart, and here we have these areas that are transparent and then they become solid when you activate them. There's so many things that you can do with this game. Okay, so we pressed a button with our fireball. Here we're going to have to press that button to enable the upper ones. Now, it's added a bit of an obstacle course, because now I have to navigate these and avoid the falling rocks. Okay, but this should be the end of Eastern Caverns, or Eastern Reaches. Yeah, so we didn't get all the secrets. I think we have to go back. There's a doorway or something that we have to knock out. It's in Erica's guide. There's a doorway or something we have to knock out to get all the secrets. And we'll go back to that later. But pretty much that's all of it, except for that tiny bit. So now that finishes up all the caverns, and we finished up this greenish part of the world. And we're going to be going above ground after we fight the boss. So you see we unlocked this skull type character. That's the boss for the cavern area. And as you can imagine, we're going to get into the ice worlds and the fire worlds as we explore this Terrak Norn where Ferazel lives. But next up we'll deal with the Monotraki warrior.